Hi, welcome to the Vaguely Anime Podcast. I am one of your hosts this evening, Michael, followed by other host, Kat.
Hi.
One of our, maybe fourth of just you and me.
Yeah, maybe. That was third, but maybe it's fourth.
I think the last one was the third.
Oh, yeah?
I think.
What have we talked about? We did Supernatural.
The last one was Supernatural.
Yeah.
Do I remember the other two? No. Or even if it was just one, I don't remember that one either. I know because the last episode we talked about it, you were like, we have done it at least once before.
Yes.
So we've at least, this is third or fourth.
Okay.
It is, I think, the second, though, with only two cameras, again, because Sage isn't here and still haven't fixed this fucking computer.
Yep. Maybe Sunday.
It's so close. It is so close to being
But how many
done.
episodes have you been saying that?
Well, we've only had a two-shot once before, so it's never really needed to come up. It only came up in that episode.
It comes up every single week I'm here. You're like,
it comes up
and
not
then
on the podcast.
I left for 3 weeks.
Well, yeah,
so.
but it's usually just when we're talking. I'm like, hey, that'll probably work at some point. Because we've had 3 computers, so it hasn't really mattered for the podcast. I only mention it now because we only have 2, and it's like, hey, that's why.
Yeah.
Have you been watching anything specifically lately? Because I've gone through like a fuck ton of shows recently. A lot of 12s.
No.
No?
12s.
Like 12 episode runs.
Oh. I was like, you're rating them 12? Like,
Yeah.
outstanding. Like, they're so much better than any of my 10s.
No.
I don't know why mine didn't go to 12 episodes. I just didn't understand what 12 was about. No, I don't think so because I've been traveling so much. I wasn't.
Oh yeah, right. You
anything.
went to Ireland. Do you want to talk about Ireland for a hot minute?
Sure. The only interesting thing I feel like I can talk about is the Blarney Stone.
Okay. The only interesting thing?
I mean,
when I went to Ireland, it was rad.
There's stuff I could talk about, but I feel like one specifically interesting is the Blarney Stone because forever, and even my family that lives in Ireland also thought this. Did you go to the Blarney Stone?
No,
okay.
We did not.
Do you know anything about the Blarney Stone?
I know of it.
Okay. So,
but if you want to explain it,
I will. But please tell me what you know of the Blarney Stone, or what you picture it as.
I was like mostly I know it exists because when we were going there originally, part of our plan.
Did you go to Blarney?
Yeah, original plan was to.
Okay, but you didn't end up.
We didn't end up going. So all I was told was that they were like, yeah, so there's the Blarney Stone. We're gonna go there. We'll explain it when we go there. And I was like, all right,
This was your family telling you?
Well, my brother-in-law and his family, because they are from there.
Okay.
And I was like, oh, cool. What does any of that mean? And they were like, we'll let you know when we get there.
And then you didn't get there, so they didn't tell you. Okay.
So I was like, I know of it.
Okay.
But not.
So tell me what you picture it as. Just like in your head, what you see it as.
I don't know. I guess a big fucking rock.
Okay. And do you know what you're supposed to do with said rock?
I do not.
Okay.
Like I said, they were like, hey, we'll explain this when we get there.
So you're supposed to kiss the Blarney Stone.
Okay.
And it gives you the gift of the gab, which just kind of means like...
You're witty.
Yeah, witty, persuasive, charming, all those, whatever. So forever, and even my family who lives in Ireland, I mean, they don't live by Blarney, but the country isn't very big, so you could drive there within hours.
Yeah.
I thought forever that this was just like a stone that you just kind of waited online, you just walked up to it, kissed it, there you go, on your way, that's it.
Right.
It is not. And I found this out when I got there. So I was like, all right, time to kiss the stone and whatever. And then, so we were staying in a hotel there, Blarney Castle Hotel. And it was just kind of this like old-timey hotel, whatever. Fantastic food. I was so surprised. I think it was one of the best meals that I had at just this hotel.
Right.
Whatever. I had lamb there. Great. Amazing. Don't know how they did so well, but sure. And so outside of our room, there was a picture of somebody, and they're like laying on their side, and then there's like another guy, and I'm like, what the fuck am I looking at? It's like a black and white picture, and I'm like, what is this? And my aunt, who has kissed the Blarney Stone, so obviously she knows, she was like, that's the Blarney Stone. And I'm like, where? I don't see it because I'm not seeing a rock. I was like, where is it? I don't understand. And she's like, that's them. And then I was like, what? And she's like, yeah, you have to go upside down to kiss the stone. I'm like, what? I was like, you have to go upside down to kiss the stone. She's like, yeah, somebody holds you and you go upside down to kiss the stone. Okay. So I'm still not getting it because I'm like, you're doing like a keg stand to kiss the stone? Like, what are you doing?
That's the origin of the keg stand, actually.
Is to kiss the Blarney Stone. Yeah. So I was like, what the fuck? And the picture just didn't make any sense to me. And I just let it go. I just gave up and I was like, whatever. Like, I don't care. The next day when we went, we got online. It said, like an amusement park, 1 hour from this standing point. So we're like, okay, well, I mean, we're here. We literally stayed in Blarney to kiss, not to just kiss the stone to see it, but this is kind of a town that has nothing else in it. It has the castle, has pretty gardens. That's it. Everything closes at like 7 p.m.
Right.
Like, there's pubs. They all got pubs.
Everything in Ireland in general closes at fucking 7:30.
Even their pubs close early. And I was like, what? I don't understand.
It was such a nightmare if you were hungry late and you're just like, no, well, nothing's fucking open. All right, cool.
Yep. So at least with kind of being jet lagged, I was never hungry late at night because your body's kind of like behind. You have it and then you kind of just go to sleep. So I never really got more hungry after that, thank God, because I don't know what the fuck I would do. But so I was in Ireland with my 2 aunts, my aunt's husband, and her 2 children. So my aunt that kissed the stone already was like, I'm not going to do it again. Like, there's no reason. You don't need to renew your gift of the gab. Like, I'm good for life. Like,
maybe it has add-on effects, you know? Maybe it stacks.
What if it's negative? Cancels out. Yeah. So you don't want to do that. But it could
stack.
I guess. But you don't know because nobody said anything. But so my aunt and uncle say that they want to do it. And I'm like, I want to do it. Sure. And so their 2 kids is a little boy and a little girl. I want to say he's 7, she's 3. And so the 3-year-old's not going to kiss the stone. And so my aunt decides to stay, the aunt that's not her child, decides to stay with the little girl, Amelia, and they stay, whatever. So me, my aunt, my uncle, and my little cousin, Nick, are going to go kiss the stone. So we're waiting on our little amusement park line of an hour. And we're just like, insane. But we're like, we have to just wait. Like, what else are we supposed to fucking do? So we're waiting and everything. And you go through the castle. So the day before we went to Bunratty Castle, and my aunt said that she was never claustrophobic, but she started to feel claustrophobic when we were there. It was so tight. And she was like, oh, I hope that the, stairs aren't like that here, because I'm not going to be able to go up, but I don't really know how to like leave either, because she said she wanted to kiss the stone. And so we're waiting, and I decided to like look it up, because I'm looking up if they like clean the stone. One of my cousins said that locals pee on the stone, like as a joke to them and whatever. But he was saying that it's in a hard place to pee on. So he's like, so I don't really know how true that is. And again, me thinking it's just like this stone, I'm like, how would it ever be hard to pee on? Like, you just pee on it. Like, what are you talking about? So we're waiting, we're going through the castle, and we're going up. So I'm like, we have to go up? Is the stone on the top of the castle? So I start looking stuff up, and so I find out that it's just, what it actually is at the top of this castle, 85 feet in the air, there is this random block in the side of the wall that's kind of lower. So like, this is the ground. It's like here. So there's bars that you have to lie down and like hoist yourself back to be able to kiss the stone. So it's like, so some guy has to like hold your legs so you don't fall. There's like grates there so you can see under. Nothing of what I was imagining of just walking up and just kissing a stone and like leaving. So I was looking it up. They will clean it. It said that you could request, because the guy had brought wipes, and they said, oh no, we're going to use our stuff to clean it. So you could request. So I was like, okay, well, of course I'm going to, after COVID, I'm going to request them to clean it. But the guy who was up there, he was actually cleaning after every single one. So I don't know if the person who's on shift decides to, or They just changed it now, but whatever. So we're waiting. It was a full hour. They really meant it. Like I was like, no way. At least it didn't feel like an hour, but you're just going through this like castle that has nothing in it except just random signs being like, this used to be a kitchen,
right?
But there's nothing in it. Like it's just like an empty space. I'm like, this is the kitchen. And it's like, okay, sure. And when we're at the top, there's like holes so you can like see straight down. So my aunt decides that she's no longer gonna kiss the stone because she's like,
you waited all that time.
I know, and that's what we kept telling her was like, you waited all this time, like just kiss the fucking stone. And then she's like, well, I'm scared of heights and blah, blah, blah. I didn't think this is how it was. And because I don't think anyone fucking knows what the fuck this stone is like, actually. And I was just like, I'm also scared of heights, but I try and force myself to do things anyways. So, like, I go on roller coasters. I eventually want to go skydiving, like stuff like that.
I keep meaning to go skydiving at some point.
Well, I would like to go skydiving, so we should plan that.
Sure.
I was gonna
my
do it.
My laziness is the worst part. I've been talking about it for years.
I was gonna do it right after high school, and
same. My sister wanted to go too.
I had called like a place to do it, and then I had thought I thought that I booked, but then they canceled. I don't know. It was just like a whole thing. And then after that, I just never fucking did it again. And then
I'm too lazy to like figure it out. I'm sure one day it'll like kick in and I'll be like, all right, I'm figuring this out.
Time. I'm figuring it out right now. I'm going to see if anybody has anything right now for me to just drive to. You know, like I did helicopter. Like I just try and do stuff. Even though I'm fucking scared. Like I get to the edge of the mall thing and it'll make me kind of shake. But I still do like the ropes course. So whatever. And so I'm like, I'm going to kiss this fucking stone, even though we're so high up, you can literally see through. You're going to be upside down where you can see through to kiss it. So I was like, whatever, I'm doing it. She decided not to, so she didn't do it.
Lame.
I will say, watching a 7-year-old with a little tiny body pulling himself down there, it really looks like he was just going to keep going. Like he was just never getting to that stone. There was like this much of his legs left. Like that this man is like, oh, I'm like, oh. God, it's like he would just go right through those grates. So, and
you know, like his parents probably have just been like, here, child, and just lowered them down themselves.
Oh my God, like horrifying. But when I went to do it, it was fine. I just went and did it. But after, my legs were so shaky, getting down from the castle in these like tight stairs, I'm like, please, I need the ground. And then Nick wanted to stop at like every little empty ass room, and I was like, all right, I'm going to the bottom. And my hand's like, no, like you have to stay with us and blah blah blah. And I'm like, my legs are shaking, ma'am, please. I need to go to the bottom. I need ground, and you didn't do it, so I had to just stay with them. I'm just like holding the railing, and I'm just like, please. I just like they're shaking so bad because it was kind of horrifying, and I had no idea that's what I was getting myself into with this stone.
So I looked it up. Mm-hmm. Apparently because before the safeties were in place, you literally
there were no grates.
Yeah, you just go for it.
Yep.
And apparently some dude in 1946 died. He
didn't die there. He died at a different part, because I actually also saw that when I was looking it up. He didn't die while kissing the stone. It didn't say specifically where he died, but there's different openings at the top, so I just assume he died from one of those.
Well, because what it said here, at least on Wikipedia, was that a man attempting to kiss the Blarney Stone fell to his death, but it was... Oh, no, you're right. It is somewhere else.
Yeah.
There is a story about Sherlock Holmes, though, also, that someone was killed.
Interesting.
In Holmes, they do die at the Blarney Stone, but it turns out it was a murder because their boots were greased.
No.
So.
Yeah, because when I was looking it up, I was like, people die here? And then I was like, yes, but in a different spot. It wasn't while kissing the stone. So.
Interesting.
Yep. So that's why I said, I mean, I enjoyed my entire trip, but specifically, I think that's just actually interesting. So.
When we went, so we were in one of the towns that my brother-in-law grew up in. Mm-hmm. I believe his mom was the one that grew up in the town we were in. I forget the name, sadly.
You don't even know the county? Nothing.
No. The worst.
Direction.
I'm the
Just
worst
pull up a
with
map
names.
and just like be like, it's over there.
I don't know. It was like 3 hours from Dublin.
Okay, so I'm gonna assume diagonal.
Kinda, yeah.
Okay.
No.
Kerry.
I don't know. I don't remember. Whatever.
Sure.
We're not gonna find out.
Okay. I'm just curious because I want to look it up.
It was close to, what was it, Kent Airport?
Okay.
The other airport that's not in Dublin. It was closer to
I want
that.
to say they have three airports.
I think it was Kent. Whatever. Regardless. Or Shannon Airport? Is that what it's called? Whatever.
Shannon, not the one in Dublin.
I don't remember. But it doesn't matter. So I was like, we got to the town. We were staying there for like 2 days.
Mm-hmm.
The second day after like hanging out with everyone, I was like, all right, I'm going to go like walk around the town, just, see sights. And I was doing that for like a few hours. And then my dad texted me and was like, hey, we're all at a pub if you want to come meet us. And I was like, okay, well, send me your current location, like through, iPhone, just the fucking button. And so he did that. And so I opened it up and I was like, all right. So I started walking towards that. And the map took me to like this corner, which absolutely to me looked like a bunch of like an apartment complex type thing, but like obviously not an apartment because it was only like a fucking story. But
Yeah.
it was just like a bunch of regular doors that I was like, well, there's no sign for any fucking restaurant pub around here. And I'm looking around, I'm pulling it up on my phone, and I'm looking up the name of the place, and it keeps telling me, nope, this is the address. And I'm like, there's no fucking way. I was like, these are just somebody's house. But I was like, I don't know, whatever. Fuck it, I guess. This is where it says to go. I just opened the door, which was not locked, and it was just somebody's house. And they just turned and looked at me, and I was like, my bad, and closed the door and walked away. And I was like, so I called my dad, and I was like, hey, where the fuck are you? And he was like, what do you mean? And I was like, well, the place you just sent me led me to some dude's house that I just walked in and went, oh, my bad, and closed the door and walked away.
Stupid American, just walking into my house.
And he was like, that's hilarious. And I was like, it is pretty funny, but where can I go so I don't get arrested for walking into some dude's house? And so it was like 3 blocks and like a bunch of turns away. And I was like, how the fuck did this mess up so bad?
Maybe his phone was like lagging. So like when they went past there, like, I don't know.
have no idea. But I was like, okay, so I got there and I told all of them the story. And they're like, there's no fucking way that like you just walked into some dude's house. I was like, I don't know, man. It kept telling me to do that.
I would have never opened the door.
Yeah.
Like, what if they were the killer? Like, they were the psychopath. And they're like, dinner's here. Like,
yeah, whatever.
I don't fucking know.
Just opened the door. I was like, sorry.
Pub here?
Yeah. No, it's just like I saw the dude. The dude looked at me and I was like,
I can't believe they were so casual about it. They just like turned and looked at you.
And then I was like, and they were like, that is legitimately really funny. We should go back and hang out with them. And I was like, nah, I'm good. I don't need to do that.
Okay, so
also had the best breakfast there. We found
you do
some
a full Irish breakfast?
Yeah, like some place that was like a little hole in the wall, and it was incredible. Some of the best sausage I've ever had in my life. I don't even really like sausage.
That's good. I don't like beans, but I like their beans, like their breakfast beans that they eat. That's like the only time I also
made it a point never to eat any of the hotels we went to because
you might have been missing out. No, I'm telling you, I had the best meal at a hotel.
Right, but like also hotels are like catered to the fact that people are visiting them. It's not the authentic food you're gonna get at each place. So I always go to restaurants.
I guess, but that's also they also cater to people.
But like restaurant. Well, because when we were there, at least for specifically that time, we were there with people that live in said county, so they knew where to go. Yeah. And for me, if I'm going somewhere without people that live there, I just try to find like smaller places or places that are not in like huge populated areas. That's usually like my thought process behind getting food somewhere, because I'm like, I don't want to get at a hotel because it's not going to be the same.
Well,
And I was right because the other time I had breakfast at a different hotel, it was fucking awful.
Well,
And it was a fancy hotel too.
I didn't think that the breakfast was that good at the hotel, but that dinner, because I also tried other people's food at the table, and they had really good fucking corned beef and cabbage. They had really good lamb. They had really good steak because they love their steak and pepper sauce.
Right.
That was the thing. They love their curry. My aunt got curry. And every single one of those were really good. And the hotel also had a cat. It's a very cute, like black and orange cat walking around. So that was a plus. I did try to go up to it. It would not come to me.
It would not.
No, but it would slow blink at me. And I'm like, that's something. Like, that'll get me through the night.
That'll get me through the night. I'm trying to find we went to the oldest pub in Ireland, but that's also disputed by fucking everybody because everyone's like, no, we have the oldest pub in Ireland.
In Dublin?
No, in Ireland.
Oh, okay.
Was its point.
Because we didn't go into it, but we drove past in Dublin, and our taxi driver was like, that's the oldest pub in blah, blah, blah. While we were in Dublin, we went to...
I don't really like Dublin. I find most major cities feel too much like New York, and so I don't feel like I'm doing anything. Dublin felt like New York City to me.
No fucking way.
I thought it was so fucking boring. I was like, I just feel like I'm in the city.
No, I didn't think so. Like, I'm just not a really big city person, but I did not think that it felt like
Now, Rome felt like New York City to me, too.
You're insane.
No, because there's like the buskers doing like the fucking flip over people performances and all that shit. And I'm like, this is just things I see in New York. The only difference is what it looks like.
Yes,
but it feels like a city, but it feels like New York.
No, I don't agree at all. One of the performers in Dublin, I thought he was really good. I listened to him on Spotify, Flute Loops. He plays the flute. He loops himself. I stood there watching him alone for like 45 minutes, and people kept leaving. So there was lots of times that it was just me and him. And I'm sure he was money. Like, no, I didn't have. I only had a card, so like I literally couldn't even because the whole trip. So you're a dick. I mean, I give him Spotify stream. Like I don't know. Like I was gonna, because I'm a very awkward person. I was gonna buy his CD. And he looked like he had a card reader there. But I didn't know when the fuck to go up. I can't work the card reader by myself. But he was always playing a song. So, like, I didn't want to interrupt him to be like, excuse me, sir, can I please buy the CD? Because other people are like, listen, I don't know. So I was so awkward about it that eventually I just left when I had to. But seriously, I stood there for 45 minutes listening to him. Because he did, he played the guitar, he would beatbox, played the flute. What else did he do? But he had the thing, like the pedals, so he would loop himself. So he was making a whole song just from him. Mm-hmm. So that was very good. You should listen to him. But I don't know, like, why is this girl just... And I was so far away from him. Like, I was just, like, standing by, like, a metal post, like, listening. So he's like, why is this girl, like, creeping just, like, from afar, just, like, listening? But I was waiting for my family, and I went shopping for souvenirs to, like, bring home because this was, I think, like, a day or two before I left because this is one of the last things we did.
Did you go to the Guinness factory?
Yes.
That's where that fish was, right?
Yes.
I thought so. I didn't want to say because I was like, I think I'm wrong, but I was like, I'm pretty sure that was at the Guinness factory.
I hate that fish. It's disgusting. Like it was so.
I was so certain, but I was like, if I'm wrong,
the way it moved was so smooth that was like the most disturbing part of it. It was like how well it went. And I was like, I don't like looking at it. But
how'd you do on your pour?
I didn't get to pour.
You didn't do the thing where you like make your own glass of Guinness?
No.
That was like the whole thing to go.
I got a free pint, but they didn't let us do it. Did you do the tasting? Is that where they do it?
No, it was just you could like.
There's like 10 floors.
No, you get like a certification that you like can pour the perfect Guinness.
Where?
I think it was at the top floor.
No, the top floor was.
No, not the top, not the bar, but like of the museum part.
That must have been. Oh, is that the Academy?
I guess.
Yeah, there's
I
like a
think.
part that was the academy. We had like, because the Guinness Factory markets themselves as a family experience.
They
So
sure
we
do.
had like 8 children with us.
Oh, so they probably didn't let you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
I don't remember where that certificate went. But yeah.
and also,
I did the best out of my group.
well, that's good. I don't know how I would do because I didn't get to do it. But how many kids do we have? We had 6 kids, and one of them left. She just left. I found her. We were on the top floor. I found her on the 4th floor. So that's.
Left or disappeared for a minute because their parents stopped paying attention.
She just ran. Like, she just went, and I just guess she just kept going.
Okay.
Because we were looking. So she made like a runner for it earlier, but I got her and I like brought her back. She was just like circling. We were at the top bar, and we were just having her free pint, which Guinness is disgusting. Personal opinion, don't like beer. I thought it was horrid.
I don't like beer either, but for some reason Guinness is fine to me.
I had to try it because I was like, it's free anyways.
It's
but,
also much better in Ireland.
well, that's what I hear, so I don't even want to know what the fuck it tastes like here. If I thought it was horrendous there, but I just don't drink.
Did you try a Rockshore? Because they also make that.
Yeah, I had that when we had lunch. I had lunch at one of the restaurants. It was like a Guinness sausage, and I thought it was gonna be like whatever. It was delicious. I have no idea why, but it was like so fucking good.
Yeah, because Rockshore and
That's the
Heineken,
cider, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I had the cider.
And then the
But I didn't think that was as good as the
And
other cider I had been drinking
Heineken.
the whole
Heineken's
trip.
also better there, supposedly.
Well, I don't drink beer, so. But Orchard Thieves, I think is what the cider was called. Not theirs, but like one that I kept drinking there, and I thought that one was really, really good. So I kept having that one.
Yeah, and I don't like beer, and I don't like IPAs most definitely.
But you liked Guinness.
I like I
Or you
like is a
tolerate,
strong word. Like it
okay.
was fine. But I did have an IPA in London when I went to when I was in
Why
London.
even try it though?
So I was in London, and I was there for 3 days. I was originally gonna be there for like 1, but my own poor planning failed me, so I was there for much longer.
I don't know how that ends up happening, but sure.
So my original plan was, so when I went to Ireland, I don't remember if I talked about this on the podcast. I probably did, but when I went to Ireland, I went for about a week, and then I had about 5 days between the end of Ireland and the beginning of the Italy trip with
Yes.
Colin and Anthony.
Mm-hmm.
So my plan was to go to London, and then from London take the train to France.
And then you never went to France.
And then
that's
drive
why?
through, like a bunch of other countries to go see stuff, or take a train. It depended on
were
what
gonna
the
rent a
prices were.
car?
It was that, yeah,
Okay.
they weren't actually that expensive. So it was that or train. I hadn't really decided at the point, but I didn't know until I was already in London that the train from Britain to France is like booking a plane ticket. Like you
Oh.
have to do it way in advance.
Well, you could book a flight. Same
Can't
day.
do it for that.
Okay, well.
Like literally like 4
so it was
days.
just sold out?
Yeah,
Or they just wouldn't
yeah,
let you?
Yeah, it just was like it wasn't an option.
Okay.
Like for 4 days past where I was, it was all.
So there was just,
It just wasn't
no time.
happening. It just wasn't gonna happen.
Mhm.
So I was like, well, that fucking sucks. So I stayed in London until I had to meet them in Italy. So I flew from London to Venice.
Okay.
But while I was in London, because I was there for extra days, I was like, you know what, fuck it. Like my office where the company I work for, we have a London office.
Oh, so you visited?
So I was like, hey, I am in London. And one of my coworkers that I like interact with the most, not even that often though, but like we've had passing conversations where she's needed me to work on something, and I'm like, yeah, whatever, I can figure that out. But I was like, I'm in London. You want to meet up, I guess? And she was like, sure. Like, I've come to the office. We can hang out. Like, we'll get a pint, and and then so it was her idea. I didn't like, and I was like, I'm not gonna tell her no. So I was like, fuck it.
Why didn't you get cider?
Because so I met her, went around the office. Their office way cooler than ours, by the way. It might also just be because they have an actual view, unlike
Yeah.
Ours, which like we're right near the Empire State Building. Like you look out the window and you can see the Empire State Building.
My aunt's in the Empire State Building.
That's pretty rad.
Yeah.
But we're low, so like it's really just buildings around us. So like you're in the city and you're right next to the Empire State Building, but everything up it's
you
just
can't
building.
really see, yeah.
So like you're not really getting a view. They have a nice view. And they have a lot of cool shit in their office. But anyway, so went around the office, hung out, and then she was like, all right, well, I have some extra time because it was during a work day for her. So she was like, I'll take my lunch break. We can go to the pub and
I'll let you drink on the job.
It's London. You can do whatever the fuck you want.
Okay.
We have beer gardens and like beer on tap and wine on tap in our New York office. So
what?
See,
to drink after though?
I don't know. I have this conversation with my coworkers all the time.
And they're like, "Well, it's there, so I drink it during."
No, because all of us are like, we think it's a trap. Technically, you can just go grab a drink and drink at work, but like,
it's got to be after. Like if you're there late or something.
I'm just saying, like all of us are like, it feels like a trap, but you are allowed to go and get it at any time.
But it's got to be actually for
I don't know,
after.
man. Because
I assume, because you don't go in all the time, right? You just go in if you have
rarely,
to. Yeah. I assume do
there
a lot
are
of people,
events. There are like happy hour events.
Like
and
I
stuff.
assume it's for that.
But it is
that they
there
just
at
have
all
it
times
always.
that you can always have it. And I'm like, who's going and grabbing like a Corona and sitting back down at their desk?
That's what I'm saying. Like that is a trap. Like there's
It
no
feels
way,
like a trap.
There's no way you're not gonna get a talking to if you do that.
Right.
Like,
but anyway,
so you got did she suggest it, being like you should try this one?
yeah. So I was like, well, I don't really drink, but like I'll have like a something every now and then. So what do you think's good? Just you get it. Because like we were in this random pub and she was like, all right. And it was some IPA. I forgot what the fuck the name of it was, but it was like delicious. It was actually incredible.
Then you should have gotten the name.
I did. I wrote it down at some point, but I don't know. I can't find it. But it was like actually amazing. And I was like, damn, like I guess every fucking alcohol is just better than in America.
Did you know that the Guinness factory had daiquiris on tap?
I did.
It's so weird. I didn't even know you could do that.
Yeah.
Like that's so random. My cousin, big man, was like, I'm gonna get a daiquiri. And we're like, what? He's like, they got them on tap. And I'm like, wait, what? And then he comes back with this like little and just like my daiquiri on tap. And they make that with Captain Morgan.
Mm-hmm. I don't know why.
So random.
Yeah, absolutely.
A spiced rum
Right,
daiquiri on tap at the Guinness factory.
Yeah.
I was like, whose idea was this? It's gonna be, I don't know.
But also with my bad planning of trip making.
Mm-hmm.
So because I thought I was gonna be in London for one day, I was like, I need to go see everything in one day. And I was like, I got there early, so I was like, fuck it, I could walk around. Like,
So then you had nothing to do for the other days?
well, no. What ended up being the case was I walked and I went to like Westminster Abbey. I went to the fucking Tower Bridge, et cetera, et cetera. Like I went out to all the places. I walked around. Like I just walked everywhere. Saw the Eye of London. Was not going to get on it because the line was fucking 50 billion miles long, and I was like, it's not worth it just to be high up in the fucking sky.
I feel like it's one of those things.
To me, I don't look at it that way. I'm like, what's the point? Like,
Well, how long was the line?
it was like it's on like this like basically like it's not a boardwalk, but just like a path basically that just follows the entire river.
Okay.
And it was just going. So I was like, I'm not even gonna bother. But so I walked around all these places, but I literally from like 8 a.m. to basically
You're
like
just
9
walking?
p.m. I was walking. And I have to assume what happened was because it was so ungodly hot that day.
How did you walk for that long if it was so hot? I would have given up. I'm
Sheer
I'm going
force
to my
of will.
I'm going to my hotel room. I don't care.
Because I was like, I'm only gonna be here one day. I gotta see everything I want to see. So
I wouldn't have. I don't have that willpower. I absolutely would have been like, I need to go to my hotel room. I'll go back out later, and then absolutely not go back out later.
no, I was not doing that. I had found out what hostel I was staying in. I got a fucking room, and I was like, all right, cool.
Okay.
And I went and so did all that, but I think I gave myself like heat stroke because the
good.
next 4 days I spent in London, I felt like death. And I went to a doctor to be like, hey, do I have COVID? They were like, nope, you don't. So we don't know what you got.
How much did it cost? Like, how do you go to a doctor in another country?
I mean, it was during, like, tail end the pandemic kind of thing. So, like, they still had fucking free clinics set up for stuff, you know? So I was like, I just went to one of those. I was like, hi, I'm visiting. I need to find out if I have COVID or not so I can leave in 2 days.
So were you wearing a mask the whole time?
I was until they said I wasn't sick. So, which I went.
that day that you were walking morning to night. Were you
no.
Okay. Because that's even worse.
So
it wasn't.
It wasn't pandemic, but like it was just the period of time where they're like, we're still gonna have things up and available, you know. But yeah, no. So that next morning, I woke up feeling fucking awful, and I was like, great.
Were you burnt?
No. I was like, great, awesome. I got myself fucking sick. So I went to the doctor, and they were like, well, you don't have COVID, so.
Don't know what's wrong with you. Get out.
Yeah, they were like, all right, bye. And I was like, all right, cool. So I think I just gave myself some kind of heat stroke or something. And literally it lasted every single day until I was leaving for Italy. So the entire time, except for the first day I was in London, the next 4 days. No, I still went out.
Oh, okay.
I just forced myself to go out. Because I was like, I'm not going to be in fucking London
so what'd you do the
on
other
my
days?
bed for 4 days. So I went to see Chinatown. I went to... basically I stayed in London. I didn't go out anywhere. I was planning to originally, but I was like, I don't feel good enough to go out of anywhere. So it was mostly just like other small landmarks that I just didn't get around to seeing, and finding other places to eat food and stuff. I went back to the Chinatown restaurant I went to basically every night because it was so fucking good. Also, they had an amazing green tea that I think was the only thing keeping me from falling over and dying.
Green tea is very good for you.
I don't even like tea, and their green tea was fucking awesome.
Why? Green tea tastes like fucking dirt water.
It was so good, dude.
They had to be putting something in it.
Coke, I guess. I don't fucking know. Whatever it was incredible.
Okay.
But I think it was literally the only thing keeping me alive. I was like, I feel like shit. I'm gonna go back to that place to get some fucking tea. But it's called Tokyo Diner. That's what it's called. It's not like on the corner in Chinatown. And then there's like a block away from it was like a big Harry Potter fucking store that's like 3 levels of just Harry Potter stuff. And then in one corner is anime things, which I thought was really funny. And then there was like, so I hung out at Chinatown quite often just because like there was so many things to do in it and like other like food to try and stuff. And I was like, I know I should be doing something else, but also London food fucking sucks. So I'm not gonna. English food sucks. The English are not good at cooking.
I've never been there, so like I don't specifically know, but I don't know if something that actually sucks.
If your whole country's bit to everyone else is that you suck at cooking, I feel like that says something. Oh, you invaded like every country known to man for spices and then never used the spices in your own cooking.
I guess.
Like
but they have fish and chips, and fish and chips is good.
Fish and chips is boring.
Fish and chips is good.
It's just French fries in a fucking fried fish.
But it's good.
But like
right on the water.
But like it's not.
Our fish and chips is very good here.
Right, but like it's not. Like I'm not gonna eat that every day.
Like 3 or 4 times while I was in Ireland because I was like, this shit's good.
I don't know. It's just. But like, there was a bit recently that Emily Blunt and Matt Damon were on some interview thing. You know that interview shtick, like the one where they're sitting at a table and it's like strongly disagree, agree, strongly agree, that thing, and you slide a glass to whatever you're agreeing to. One of the questions was English food is better than American food. So Emily Blunt, who is from England, obviously was like, strongly agree. Matt Damon does strongly disagree. She's like, how fucking dare you? And he's like, I feel like it says something, you know, if you're known for having awful food. And she was like, what? And you have your fucking burgers? And Matt Damon's like, well, yeah, but we have a melting pot. We can get whatever the fuck we want. And Emily Blunt's like, yeah, we do too. Our the number one food eaten in England is chicken tikka masala. And my first thought was,
I think that's in Ireland too.
Yeah, but my first thought was, it should say something that your number one food isn't something that you make. Because clearly nobody wants it. But Yeah, so like I just went around to a bunch of other places while trying not to keel over and die in the street, because I felt like death. And then I woke up the day to go to Venice, and I felt fine. I was like, thank God.
That's good.
Got on a fucking shuttle plane, like the cheapest flight I could. It was literally like $40. I could carry like, and it was just what. And luckily, I only go places with a carry-on, so it doesn't matter that I couldn't store anything. I didn't have overhead, nothing.
Just in your lap?
Yep. Just
Okay.
it was just my backpack.
Oh, okay.
And then went to Venice, and it took like an hour to find fucking Colin and Anthony, because it was like, because they had already gotten there way ahead of me. And we were trying to find the hotel, and it was like, from where I landed, I had to take a boat to get to Venice, and then like from there I had to go down like a bunch of random ass back alleys to try to find the way around. At one point I was like, hey, I kind of remember where I am, because I'd been to Venice when I was studying abroad.
Okay.
And I was like, okay, I kind of know how to get to like X area, and X area should be close to where I need to go. So
it took you an hour with a little bit of information. So I wonder how long it would have taken if you hadn't been there before. No information.
Yeah, I mean, like,
were they helping, or they were just like, we're here?
They were like, we're here. Here's the address.
Come and get us.
Okay, cool.
Okay.
So
glad they weren't meeting you halfway.
No, why would they?
All right.
Well, also I needed to get the hotel room anyway, because I needed
fair.
to drop my shit off. But yeah, that was a fun trip. All of it, except for the dying part in the middle. But still, it was cool being in London for a few days.
Fine.
Yeah. It was really disheartening when I got to that fucking train station. Well, I looked it up prior, but then I went in person to be like,
to see if there was like a way,
a ticket or something, and they were like, yeah, no, that's not how this works, buddy. And I was like,
I wish it
cool.
was.
Yeah. I was like, all right, cool, thanks.
Yeah.
Yeah, but Ireland was cool. I liked Ireland a lot.
I want to move there. I'm getting my citizenship.
I would not move there.
Why?
It was cool to visit. Seemed utterly boring. Which is what literally every single person that I know that has lived in Ireland and moved has also agreed with.
I like it. Well, I have a fuck ton of family there, so and it's family that I very much enjoy. Right. So like that's an added bonus. But
because my brother-in-law, his entire family is there except for his mom and dad, and he's like, I'm so happy I don't fucking live there.
I kind of like how slow it is. Like when we were in the car driving it anywhere, like it was always just so beautiful. It was always so nice that it felt like calming to me.
I'm glad your car rides were calming. My fucking.
There were some that
my brother-in-law's mother is a fucking psycho when it comes to driving.
Well, we didn't have to deal with that, but the roads that are this fucking big, and you're just like, if another car comes down the other way, what the fuck are we gonna do? Right. You just gotta pray that nobody's gonna drive down this little road. Like obviously. That's not great, but like everything else. And immediately while I was flying back and I could actually see the States again and I could just see how cluttered it was, I was instantly like, ugh, like I don't know. I kind of like that it was.
You could also go live in the rural area of America.
Yeah, I guess so. But then that doesn't help. That only gets me further from all family. Like my family's here and in Ireland and in Italy. So
go to Italy instead.
Yeah, but it's harder to get my citizenship for there. It's very easy for me to get my citizenship for Ireland. So, and if you get your Irish citizenship, you can live anywhere in the EU, just with that one thing. So
it's true.
There's no reason not to do it.
Yeah.
So why not? And then, what was I saying? Oh yeah. So moving to some other rural place here is like, yeah, I could do that, but that only just brings me further from anyone. Like, at least going there and it being like that, at least I'm closer to like family, you know?
Right.
So it all just.
I guess my opinion is that I could live without my family very easily.
Well, I mean, I've been doing it all this time. Like, I can do it, but I did enjoy my time with them, so it would also just be nice. But I don't know. I liked how innocent it was. Like, I just.
Hey, man. More power to you. I just, like I said, I wouldn't want to. And then I just, like, my brother-in-law, his parents are like, no, we left for a fucking reason. Like, yeah, it's fun to visit. I wouldn't want to live there. I left because it was boring.
But, like, I don't do anything here. So I feel like there's nothing to lose.
Yes, yeah.
Like, I'm not doing anything here. And I thought Dublin was exciting enough, like busy enough kind of thing that
I would not live in Dublin.
you could. Oh, I don't want to live in Dublin, but if I wanted, like, I was like, I really have the feeling that I just want to go to a city right now. Like, it's like
Right.
3 hours away, the furthest. So
you didn't like download anything for your flights? I downloaded
No.
so many comics and anime, so I could just watch shit on the
I
way there
expected myself to sleep.
and out. I never expect that. I fucking suck at sleeping on planes.
I didn't sleep on either. I think I dozed off for like maybe a half hour on the way there, but for the most part I didn't. But so I never do, because I also just expect to watch just whatever the fuck they have, because if I'm awake, like, I'll just. So actually I could tell I watched a couple movies like on the plane.
Okay, what did you watch?
I watched Avatar: Way of the Water.
I'm sorry.
Um
Actually, hold on.
I had better expectations for that movie from the behind the scenes stuff, like, that I kept seeing, that I was like, oh, this looks sick. Like, I really want to see the movie.
The graphics are fine.
And then when I was watching, no, but like the behind the scenes of like how they were actually in like their own pools and
Right.
stuff and
Yeah.
doing that. Like, that looked so cool to me that I was like, wow, this movie must be amazing and stuff. Then I was watching and I was pretty bored. And it's so long.
It sure is.
And then there's gonna be like 5 movies. And I'm like, what else are you doing? We move to another area
You
and
see
the
why
bad guy
everyone
comes
hates.
back.
You see
like,
why a bunch of us in the friend group hate it.
Yeah. Well, I only watched.
Also, the idea that I don't like that movie, but the idea that somebody's only watching of that movie is on an airplane screen
Yeah.
still viscerally hurts me.
I wanted to see it in
I
theaters.
try not to watch movies that are like impressive on planes. Like, for the first time,
Eh.
like I watched Call Me by Your Name and like Lady Bird and shit on the plane. So I'm
Mm-hmm.
like, fucking, like, whatever.
I wanted to see it in theaters, but Ryan told me I had to see it in IMAX, and I didn't want to pay IMAX prices. I wanted to go on a Tuesday, spend my $6 to see the movie, like, in the movie theater, but he wouldn't let me, and I didn't want to go by myself, so I just never saw it. And then when I was on the plane, I was like, yeah, okay.
Wouldn't let you is such a weird. Like, I can understand being
Well,
like, we should see it in IMAX, but ultimately, like,
Meaning
whatever.
He would not see it with me regular. So when I say he wouldn't let me, I just mean I didn't want to go by myself. I wanted to go with him. And he refused to see it regular. It had to be an IMAX. Because he
I would have
said,
went with you. I hate that movie. I would have just gave me more of a reason to hate it.
well, I didn't know that.
You never asked.
But you saw it already, so why would I ask you? I don't know.
I've seen many movies again.
Well, I didn't think to ask.
Look, you need a backup plan. Ask me. I'll probably.
Okay, now
also, I can go for free
Why?
because I have stubs. I'm an A-list.
Oh, okay.
And
well, now I know.
so-
So now I'll ask you.
Unless I
if-
really hate it, which, to be fair, for Avatar would have been a toss-up. But I probably would have been like, if you're not going to see it regardless, fuck it. I guess I would go.
Well,
Hey, at least you didn't give it money.
yeah, just the plane money.
Yeah.
$1,200 money, so
Hmm.
not cheap. I paid $1,200 to see Avatar
On
instead
a fucking
of
small ass
$30 to see it in IMAX theaters.
screen. Yeah, you sure did.
But that's okay.
All right, what else?
I was kind of just bored by it. Like, I was like, come on, can we just hurry it
The
up?
fact that the kids get fucking hostaged 4 times.
But also the fact that the one kid that didn't deserve it was the one that fucking died.
The one that nobody
Spoilers.
remembers.
Sorry.
The big brother.
Yes.
Sure.
The only one who didn't deserve it.
Yeah, but
Because he was always doing what he was supposed to and protecting his family.
sure. But, you know.
Whatever. I watched Hotel Transylvania 4.
Only good things about those movies is Selena Gomez.
I thought that was better than Avatar. I was more entertained. This one, I want to say it's 4, maybe it's 5. I haven't
There's
seen
so many of them.
I haven't seen the in between ones, but I was like, I'm pretty sure I'll get it. Like, I'm
Yeah.
pretty sure it'll be.
Was it the one that they switched?
Yes.
Where he was
from
the
Monsters
human was the
Inc.
monster?
Yes, that's the one.
I think it's 4.
And I haven't seen the other ones. So he has this girlfriend, fiance, woman, wife. The blonde, she's like white hair. I didn't see the movies of Adam Sandler and her getting together.
It is 4.
Okay. So I think I only saw the first one, maybe the second one, but I definitely did not see the third one, so I didn't know how she came into play, but I was like, I'll figure it out. I'm sure it's not that hard. What is this movie called? It's a Japanese movie. There was no dub. It was like something of like Goodbye at the Gate. Let me try Googling it. Goodbye at the Gates, something like that.
Goodbye at the Gates?
It's something with goodbye, something with gates, but it's not Goodbye at the Gates.
I don't know. While you're figuring that out, I guess. What movies have I seen recently? Recently, I think what did I go to the theaters for? Oh, Mission Impossible. The new Mission Impossible.
I didn't want to see that.
Was very good. Although I will say, I think that every Mission Impossible movie has gotten better each movie.
I don't think I've ever seen any of them. Not even one.
Well,
and I don't care to.
1 and 2, not great. I think 2 is the worst one. 3 is good. 4 is really good. 5 is great. And then 6 is fantastic. And now 7.
7?
Yeah, this is 7, I believe.
My aunt asked me to see that, and I was like, no, thanks. And she was like, well, would you see a movie? And I said, yeah. And she said, what movie? So we saw The Little Mermaid. Did you see that one?
No.
I
refuse to go see the live action versions of those movies.
Really
especially once I saw the fact that the fish are just obviously look like real fish, which is boring as fuck.
That's what it has to be, though.
Right, but that's boring. It's the problem with the Lion King live action, quote unquote.
But I was actually very impressed with it.
Was it really dark? Because all the trailers were fucking dark as shit.
Like dark as
like just the movie was dark. Like it wasn't not in tone, but in color.
I didn't really pay it. Like I wasn't like thinking, wow, this is dark. So not sure actually. Where the fuck would this be? Maybe independent film it would be under. I'm like on United Private Screenings to try and like find it. But I was actually impressed with it because I was just like, oh, this is going to be shit, but I'm not paying for it. And I'm just honestly curious, how it would be. So like, why not just see it? And I actually thought they did a pretty good job. And like, I feel bad for the main actress. I don't know her name. I feel bad for her because
people are racist as fuck.
Not even that.
Oh.
I mean, obviously, like, yeah, that's horrible too. But people were like editing her face to. I found the movie. Let's go. It's the tunnel to summer exit of Goodbyes. I was like, it's something.
Sure didn't see that. Was it good?
I'll explain after.
Okay.
I'll talk about The Little Mermaid. People were talking about how her eyes are too far apart, and then people were like editing them even further. There's like this screen grab from the trailer where I will say when she's in the water, it does look a little bit funky. Her eyes do look.
Is it because of her, or like is there like an effect they put on it? Because like they're like underwater, so they're trying to make it look.
I don't know because everyone else kind of looks normal, but
does she
a
look
lot of the movie
quote unquote normal
when she's out of the water?
Yeah.
Yes.
So then maybe it's like an effect.
That's what I'm saying. Like something is happening because
I can't imagine that they are taking the time to change her eye position.
And also,
I don't think
I'm pretty sure
that.
they've talked about that for like Disney movies, their eyes are too close together, like with drawing, like if you go over proportions and stuff, like videos like that. I'm pretty sure they talk about how so there's no way they're purposely editing her.
Right.
I mean that people
maybe it's
on
some
the
kind
internet,
of effect they put on for water.
Yeah,
the water.
that people on the internet are just like doing her dirty. But I thought that was just her face. And then so when I saw the movie, I was like, oh, she doesn't look like the people are just mean. Like,
oh yeah, of course.
Like I didn't even.
The amount of racist shit that popped up just because fucking Ariel was black.
And it's like, what does it matter? What does it matter? Like, it does not matter. What is it bugging you for? But
the sunlight doesn't get under the ocean, so they wouldn't have fucking melon. There are fucking fish people. Like,
I wish that they did her hair more red. That was my only like.
It's funny
quarrel
because
with it.
one of my fuck Amber Heard, but the Aquaman movie.
Yeah.
People were always like, her hair is too red, and I was like, no, I think it makes sense.
I think that makes sense.
I
too.
think that if your hair is going to be red underwater, it should be vibrant as fuck when you're out of the water.
Yes.
Because for it to be that red underwater, it needs to be super bright.
Yes.
When you're out.
I thought it looked good.
So I thought it
her.
made sense. So I was like, everyone was thinking how stupid her hair looked. I was like, I think it's fine. I think that makes sense in my brain.
Yes.
I'm like, yeah, if you have red hair, it's gonna be bright on the surface.
I would have preferred if they did something like that, but if they didn't even want to fully commit to that, like even just a little bit more red, because I feel like it was like at most a little orange. Like it wasn't even really.
Right.
And then there was also, I think it was a continuity error, but I don't know. She has like braids and then some hair is just out. So she has both. But there's one scene that she only had, are they braids or dreads? I don't know. I didn't pay attention that closely, but there's something with her, something of her hair design is some's in, some's out point is, and there's a shot of her where there's no hair out anymore. So I'm like, I know they didn't do your hair.
Right.
Like there was no part of the movie that they were like, oh yeah, we're doing this. Because the scene where they like clean her up, you would think if anything they would do it then. They don't. It's just like a random scene. And I'm like, is this just like filmed a different day? But then it goes back to being out. And I'm like, but whatever. That's like a tiny little thing.
Right.
But since I was talking about her hair. So I just wish that they did like, that's kind of all I can. Because that's like iconic for her is like that
were all the
bright
songs
red.
good?
No.
Oh.
Eric's
Her or-
song, mediocre.
Okay.
It's fine. Whatever. I can get
Sure.
over it. Her song that she sings, I liked it. I thought it was catchy. I don't know if you know. I didn't know until I saw the movie. But Aquafina is Scuttle.
I hate Aquafina.
Aquafina is Scuttle. Why? That's such a random fucking choice.
She sings.
She rapped. So her song was like a rap,
hate
and
Aquafina.
it was so annoying. I hate it, and it went on for too fucking long.
Who was Ursula again?
Oh, Melissa McCarthy.
Was she good?
I thought she was great. Also didn't know that was her. My aunt couldn't believe that I didn't know that because she was like, there was so much controversy because since she's like the funny gal and stuff like that, people were pissed because they thought that she was going to ruin the character. I thought she did a really good job.
I had this bit in my head that I was like, what they absolutely should have done. Jack Black as Ursula. I was like, that would have been incredible.
Yeah, but that's not
You know that
serious.
man would have committed.
I know, but that would be like,
He could do serious.
no.
I'm sure
Not
he
for
can.
Ursula. I don't know. I can't see it.
Also, the songs would have been great.
Well, yeah. But I thought she did a really good job. Like, I thought, like, I knew, like, a while ago, people were complaining that her eyeshadow wasn't, like, good for the part or whatever. But I think they fixed that, like, because she has, like, the iconic, like, because I thought it looked good, unless people were complaining about that. But I don't know. I feel like people complain to complain.
Absolutely.
But I thought she did a really good job. She really committed to it because I think people were thinking about, like, Melissa McCarthy Ghostbusters, you know, like thinking about like stuff like that.
You have to remind me of that fucking movie.
I like that movie. Not in like, oh, this is a masterpiece, but I thought it was cute, quirky. Like I thought it was a fun movie. I liked that movie.
Sure.
I don't know.
No problem with a girl power movie. It was just bad to me.
I thought it was like a
Like
good
Ocean's
bad. Like
8 was great. Well, not great, but good. And that's the same thing where it's like, you know, male cast to female cast. I wouldn't say it was great, but it was good. So like they can do it, but it was just like
I thought it was just like a little fun movie, whatever. Saw it in theaters.
bad. Anyway.
Had a good time. Like I was just like, great, but everybody hates that fucking movie, and I'm like, I don't know. I thought it was.
So anyway, the anime movie you watched.
Wait, I'm not done with Little Mermaid.
All right, my bad.
Yeah. So Aquafina, Scuttle, weird as fuck. New rap song, terrible. Hated it. I was like, when will this end? Took way too long. But I thought I was honestly impressed with the movie. Not like I think it's a masterpiece, not anything like that, but I genuinely like was entertained the whole time. I wasn't waiting for it to just end.
Right.
And so I thought it was good. I had such low expectations. I just wanted to see what it was, and I thought they did a pretty good job. I'd watch it again. Like if it was on an airplane, I'd be like, yeah, sure, why not?
Right.
I don't have anything else to watch. Sure. Okay. So the anime movie that I watched, The Tunnel to Summer Exit of Goodbyes. This is it.
Okay.
How much do you want me to go into it? None. It was good. I liked it.
Yeah, I was like, what's it about? Is it?
So, it's about this kid. He lives in this town. There's like this urban legend about this tunnel. If you go into the tunnel, you get whatever you want, whatever you wish for is in this tunnel. This girl moves to the town as well, and so they meet. He lends her umbrella. She takes his number, says she's gonna return it. She ends up going to his school, of course. He does not have the best home situation. I don't think this is too much spoilers because it happens like right at the beginning. His little sister dies, and she was trying to catch they had a fight, and she was trying to catch a little like beetle for him because that's like his favorite thing or whatever. She fell out of the tree and she died. He ends up trying to run away from his dad because the dad blames him for the home life falling apart, and he finds the tunnel, and he realizes that he can try and get his sister back. So it's basically about that. Then one day after school, and time passes differently in the tunnel, so he ended up being gone for like a week, but he was in there for like 10 seconds. The girl ends up following him from school to the tunnel. She also has her own wish that she wants to do, and they basically just work together to try and figure out the tunnel.
Gotcha.
I liked it. That
Okay.
was a good movie.
You know the movie Nimona? Like
Yeah,
that new anime
I watched
movie?
that.
Okay, I did also.
Yeah.
What'd you think?
I didn't think it was the most amazing thing. I thought it was entertaining enough. That was cute.
That was pretty much my takeaway.
Yeah.
I was like, it was a very pretty movie. I liked its animation.
I watched that while I was in Ireland.
Yeah, I was like, and I had quite a good time with it. Not anything unique in terms of story in any way, really.
Yeah,
Just very
no.
generic story.
Definitely not.
You
I
can,
liked the animation.
yeah.
That looks
Well,
really
you
good.
can guess everything that's going to happen in that story.
for sure. Yeah.
But it's animated beautifully, and it's a fun watch.
Yeah.
It's not
I
anything
didn't realize
mind-blowing, but-
how many movies I've watched. Like, I was like, oh, no, I haven't been watching anything. There's like 6 more movies I didn't go over that I've like seen in the past like couple weeks. I saw Elemental. That was
What'd you
another.
think? I never got around to seeing it.
I thought that one was cute. I had also low expectations for this movie, and I thought that it was really cute. I thought they did a really good job with it. It's really nice to look at because
I assume it's at least nice to look at. It is Pixar.
no, but I liked
or
the plot
Disney. I
too.
don't
Like,
remember which one.
I think it's both.
Okay.
It's definitely both because they were selling at the Disney store. They were selling Elemental stuff. So,
Okay.
but
Well, I
movies-
guess Pixar stuff is on Disney Plus.
Yes.
So, but I think it was Pixar though.
yes.
Yeah.
But movies come out at different times over there. So we went to the premiere. My cousin was DJing. He has like a contract with Disney or something. So he DJs for their
Okay.
premieres. And so we went
Damn, your cousin must be fucking rolling it.
so we went to a premiere of for Elemental. There was like a whole party before where they did like face paint for kids and crafts and cupcakes, and it's really cute. It was nice. Saw a movie. I genuinely thought it was good. Liked it.
All right.
That was it. I saw other movies, but those were the important ones.
Okay. All right. Well, I didn't even get to talk about any anime I was watching. Watched a lot of romance animes.
Really?
Yeah.
Which? You
Uh,
watching the Yamada at level 99?
no, so I watched. Somebody else had watched it, which I was surprised, but it was
The
like
book one?
no, more than a married couple, less than lovers.
Me!
Okay, I was like
love
anyone that
that
would have watched this
show.
would have been Kat.
Yeah, I love
Um,
that show. I watched that when it came out.
I was
watching
on
it.
such. Okay, so I both
Watanabe's
really,
the
I
best.
both really liked it and really didn't like it.
A lot.
Because
I was cringing out. Like there were moments like this. I almost recommended that for my pick
literally,
last time.
I was like, any time with I'm fucking forgetting her name.
The friend.
No, not the friend.
Watanabe.
The main girl.
Yeah.
Pink hair girl.
Yeah.
Any time with her was like usually adorable.
Yes.
And I loved her. One of the few times actually in a show that I can think off the top of my head where I was rooting for the not childhood friend, where I was like, yeah, girl. But
oh my god, I hated the scene with when they're like baking or whatever, and she's like, "Oh, go slow." And I'm like,
oh yeah.
I'm like my skin.
But
I
like
can't.
basically every time she was being adorable, I was like, this is great.
Yeah.
Loving this
Yeah.
this show. But then like 2 seconds later, it would be like, I hate everything about what it is.
That's exactly why I didn't recommend it, because I was scared of what you guys would think, that I was like, I'll recommend something else.
It got a 7. I was like, because the adorable parts were so adorable, but like the whole the show as a whole was
Did
like,
I not rate it?
I don't know. The show as a whole was like fine. So like it would have probably been like a 6 or something, but main girl was so adorable that I was like, it's gonna get a 7 though.
No, I liked that show. I'm waiting for the next season.
I did pull up the manga and read some of it because I was like, I don't know if I'm gonna keep watching it, but I was
did
curious.
rate it. I rated it a 9. I told you I really liked it.
Okay, but
it did make my skin crawl like sometimes.
But yeah, I read up on some of the manga like to see where it was. I'm not gonna say, but it seems like it's going in a way that I'm like, I would probably not watch more of this.
No.
But I watched that. I watched Horimiya.
The original or
The original, not the one that's
okay.
coming out right now.
Okay.
I am going to watch the one that's coming out right now, but
Is that
I'm
a
gonna wait for
movie
it
or is that a season?
That's a show.
Okay.
12 episodes.
Okay.
13 episodes.
I
Fantastic. Legitimately, I gave it a 9.
Really?
It was so
I
good.
didn't think that Horimiya was that good. Like, I think it's not
it-
overhyped. Like, I think it's a good show.
It was so cute.
No, maybe I don't know. I think I went in with too high of expectations because everybody was like, you have to watch it. It's amazing. I did think it was cute, but I don't know. It was just lower than what I expected.
I thought it was so cute. I loved all the characters. I mostly
Yeah.
loved the main two.
Yes.
The other ones I were like fine. I liked them being there, but I was like, anytime like there was like an episode for them, I was like, no, go back to the cute couple.
Yeah, I don't know. I was just because I also watched that around the time that I was watching Fruits Basket. So I guess maybe also because I just really liked Fruits Baskets, like maybe it just kind of at the time just didn't seem.
But
I'm definitely gonna watch.
I loved
a new
Tori
season.
as a character.
Yeah.
I thought she was fantastic. And I like that also. Like it's a show with progression. They actually start hanging out, start fucking dating, and it's like thank Christ.
Yeah.
Like it's just a very adorable show. And I don't know. I had a lot of fun with it. And then the new thing that's coming out right now is just the stuff in the manga that they didn't make in the anime.
Yeah.
So it's not anything new. It's just whatever they didn't cover.
Yeah.
Which is apparently also 13 episodes worth. But
it's like called like the missing pieces or something,
yeah,
right?
Horiyama Piece.
Yeah.
But like there's not gonna be more. Like the show is the end of the manga.
Yeah.
Like they did it. 13 episodes. It was like that's it. We're done. Now if they skipped enough for 13 episodes worth, you would have thought they would just made the show longer. But I guess maybe they were like.
Maybe they just weren't approved for that.
Yeah, and they were like, all right, and then it did so well that they were like, all right, well, I guess we could do the other stuff. But yeah, so I watched that. I watched the Konosuba, the show about Megumin.
I've only watched, I think, 2 episodes of that.
I thought it was funny. I thought it was very funny.
It's been fine so far.
Yeah.
I just haven't really, like I said, since I've just been traveling for the past
Yeah.
month, I just haven't really been watching shows.
Well, because it was like finally the English dubs for all last season's anime that I wanted to watch are like done. So I was like, all right, I'm gonna go through all those right now.
Yeah, that's kind of what I was waiting for. I was like, I'll just
Yeah.
wait to do that.
And
I'm
I
gonna
finished
finish Oshinoko tonight.
Oh, gotcha.
Instead of the 1 episode left.
And then I finished the part 2 of season 4 for Danmachi.
Gotcha.
Which I actually thought was really good.
Yeah?
Yeah, I gave it an 8.
Wow.
It
Did other people like it? Or just you
I
liked
don't know.
it?
I
What's
most people I talk to, I feel like are like very like one or the other with,
I feel
with
like
Don
people
Machi.
don't really like the show. So that's
Its
why I'm
average score is an 8.2
Okay.
for the part 2 of
Yeah,
the
yeah.
4th season.
Uh-huh.
So
Wait, okay. So this isn't about anime, but I just have a genuine question for you because I just saw Spider-Man yesterday. The new
Across
one.
the Spider-Verse.
Yeah.
Okay.
With Ryan, and he saw it. He didn't even know why it was still in theaters, but I was like, but since it is,
so fucking
I was
good.
like, can we see it? Because I haven't seen it yet.
I was gonna go see it with Eamon last weekend because he was like, I hadn't seen it yet, and I was like, I'll go again.
You guys did the episode like a month ago,
Yeah.
like for it, and so when he first saw it, he texted me saying, I don't like Gwen anymore, whatever, and
That's such a Ryan text.
and so he was just like.
It's such a him thing. Like I'm like you like immediately. I'm like, of course he would say that.
He was like, oh, you'll see. And then he said that he also didn't really like Hobie. And then I watched it. And then afterwards, I was like, I loved Hobie and Gwen did nothing wrong. And then he was like, what? And he was like, well, I knew you were going to like Hobie. Like, he was like,
How do you not like Hobie?
I don't know. Like, he just thought he was fine. Like, he was just like, whatever. He just thought he was kind of boring. Like, he was just like, his whole thing is just anarchy
Boring?
and blah, blah, blah. I was like, I like Toby.
That's his whole deal.
I know, but that's what he didn't like.
But also,
about
he
him,
was
I
like a
guess.
cool big bro to
I
fucking
know,
helping Miles
that's
and
what
shit.
I thought. And then I was like, and then what the fuck did Gwen do? I was like, what are you mad about? He's like, well, she lied and blah, blah, blah. She should have told her parents. And I'm like, bro, I would have done the exact same fucking thing that she did. I would
Her
have
dad
changed-
pointed a gun at her.
and then he was
And
like,
she's
no.
like fucking 16 being like,
No,
I
but-
can't handle this. I'm
No,
not
no,
going
no.
home.
But he was like, she should have told him earlier. Like, his point was that she shouldn't.
dad?
Yeah.
The cop.
Yes.
That thinks she killed her best friend.
He thinks that she shouldn't have even gotten to that point. She should have said from the beginning. But I was like, no. I was like, no
You
point.
could say that about any superhero. You could say that about Miles.
That's what I said. It was just like, I was like,
Why did
no.
Miles tell us better? Like,
No, because he was like, well, Gwen told him not to. Like, he wanted to. And I'm like, why are you villainizing Gwen? I was like, she's a kid. Like, she didn't do anything. Like,
Ryan
he's
has
like,
fucking weird takes on things.
I know. And he's like, well, she wronged him and blah, blah, blah. And
She wronged him because she's
And I was like-
16-ish
But
and
also-
doesn't know how to handle the amount of pressure that was
But
put on her.
also, I was just like, why would you tell someone that? Like, why would you tell them that they're not supposed to be who they are? Like, he was like, because he doesn't get to be in the society, whatever. I'm like, he doesn't need to be in the society. Peace of mind. Like,
Right.
I wouldn't say anything either. I was like, I would do the exact same thing
Right.
she did. I wouldn't say a fucking word.
Like, she didn't want to be there, but she also, like, she didn't want to go back home. And if she told him anything, Miguel would have sent her home and had to
Yep.
make her deal with what she didn't want to deal with.
Yep.
She was using it as an escape.
I don't know.
Like,
But so that's why I was just curious because there are a lot of people on the internet that are like one way or the other.
yeah, but the people that think that she's wrong are stupid.
Well, that's what I thought. So, because right after I was like, she literally did nothing wrong. I was just like, I was waiting for the
The
moment.
entire movie is about her arc.
I thought that like when he was like, oh, she fucks him over and blah, 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 whatever. And they kept teasing Hobie. I thought maybe she was just dating Hobie. So she was kind of leading him on.
No,
And
Hobie's just a chill dude
No,
that
I
lets
know,
her stay in
I
his
know.
universe.
No, I know, but I thought that maybe that's what it was, because Ryan gets very upset over content that has like stuff like that.
Even though they're not dating, so she wouldn't be cheating.
Yes, but whatever.
I would have, but to be fair, if she was fucking in bed with Hobie, I would have been like, you fucking bitch.
Yeah, like exactly. So I see his. So that's kind of when they kept teasing Hobie and stuff, and like, okay. Also, the fact of her shoes, and he was like, "Are those my shoes?" Like she took his shoes and everything. I was like, "Oh, they are banging." Like I was just like, "Why did she have his shoes?" But also, does she have really big feet or he got really small feet? Because those were tight
No, I
Converse.
I thought that he just said, I thought he was talking about that she had a pair of shoes at her place.
No, she's not wearing her ballet shoes anymore. She's wearing.
I didn't realize they were his.
That's what he said.
Did he?
Yeah.
To be fair,
He went, "Are those my Chucks?"
to be fair, when I went and saw the movie, there were a few times where I couldn't hear what was going on because the audio was bad.
Yeah, Ryan told me that. They fixed it.
Yeah, I did hear that. I haven't gone since.
Yeah.
So maybe that was one of the lines because
But-
there was a good portion with her and him that I was like, I missed lines entirely.
Yeah. He said that at the beginning, now the song is too low. So like before this, the main thing when she's drumming, the song was way too loud. They've like muted the fuck out of it.
It's funny because
like,
I didn't think
barely
that
there.
it was really loud, but I liked that it was really loud.
Because people were just complaining that they just didn't know, like, what she was saying.
Yeah.
As it was happening.
But
So now there's like no, it's
Yeah.
just too low now.
But it's a great movie. Ryan's wrong.
Yeah. I like
Ryan's wrong. So anyway,
he's not like I hate her, but he was just like, she wronged my boy Miles, and I'm like, I would have done the exact same thing. No different.
yeah, like
nothing.
It makes total sense with her frame of mind, and
Yep,
again,
absolutely.
that she is 16 and was like her world just fell apart in front of her.
I would do it at 25 years
Yeah.
old. Like
And,
it
like,
doesn't even matter that she's 16.
Her escape, and then she was with them for months with them telling her what she can and can't do. She'd probably just listen to them.
Yes.
Like it makes sense. Anyway,
Yep. All right.
we're fucking 15 minutes over, and I'm gonna have to edit this.
That's okay. It's not that much.
Yeah, you want to edit it?
No.
Yeah. All right. Well, hey, thanks for watching this week's episode of the Vaguely Anime Podcast. Thanks for watching. I already said that. Don't forget to check out Kat at Kat the Moonstar on Twitch.
Yep.
You have 2 weeks. I think 2 weeks. Hey, whatever number this is, you have that many from a 5 or a 0. I know it's actually a 5. So, you have that many till episode 115 to watch the second season of ReZero.
Yes.
So you can do that math. And we will see you guys next week for whatever we talk about. If it's the Anime Club, I guess you'll know then. All right, see ya. Bye.
Bye.